Hello YouTube. Today I wanted to cover the slightly finer points of sampling. Mainly that is multi-sampling in the Akai S series. I've got an S3000 S3200 here XL, but this would be the same basically in the 3000 and practically almost the same in the 1000s and 1100. Pretty much all the same on the everything after the 950. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sample a sound from my JX3P. Now I'm going to play you the sample. This is, you can see the MIDI light flashing when I play it. So that's the sampler playing that. And here is the original sound, which is slightly fatter. This is the JX3P. Right, okay, let's get started. Now before we sample that sound, we've got to make a few changes to the JX3P sound. Mainly is get rid of the envelopes, and to be honest, if you're sampling, it's easier to sample the mono sound, so turn the chorus off, although in the Juno's case it really does give it that, not Juno, JX3P case and the Junos, all the Rolands, the chorus really does give it that edge. But anyway, for this I turned it off, and so just adjust the envelopes, the attack and the release. So I'm going to put the attack right down, decay and sustain to max, and release down the bottom, so you get this. Now you could obviously open up the filter and use the Akai's filter, which is nice. I mean, you've got in the 3200XL, you've got the extra filter board, so you've got two filters. But I want to retain the same sound as the Juno, so I'm going to use, I keep calling it a Juno, the JX3Ps. So I want to keep that character, and that's how I'm going to sample it. So now let's go to the Akai, which we're focused on. Okay, so while we're in single mode, when we would have turned it on, got no programs, you would have had your test program. Now I've already loaded my other sounds on this, so forget about that. So all we want to do is hit up edit, and this is going to give us our test program, which is in, when you first turn on the car you get a sine wave, which is this. So first up, obviously we need to create a key group. That's how many samples we're going to have and map to what keys. For this example I used 4, so I'm going to just create 4. If you see up here it says key groups. As soon as I hit edit in my test program, I'm just going to hit F2, key groups. And key groups in program at the top, you have to press the plus button on the keypad. So there's 4. Okay, now you go to, if you press F3 span, that's how it looks. Now you press MIDI span, turn it on and go to C0, and with your master keyboard map out the range. So I'm going to hit, my first key is going to be C2, so I'm going to hit C2, my next one B2, and my next key is going to start at C3 and B3, C4, B4, C5, and my last key C6. So that's how the sample's going to work. So that's my key map sorted. Now all I've got to do is sample something. So all I'm going to hit is the sample button and choose a reasonable record time. So I'm going to choose 3 seconds in this case. You don't want to make it too short, otherwise when you loop it it's not going to sound right, but you don't want to make it too long because it will take up too much memory. Okay, so set on mono. Now what's going to trigger it? I'm going to trigger it with a MIDI note. Also on the same channel, funnily enough, I've also got the Juno, a JX3P. Oh, I keep getting confused today because I've been playing the Juno a lot, but hey. Alright, so that's that. Okay, so that's that, and now you've got to create a name. Otherwise, it's just gonna call it pulse or sine or whatever that thing is. Now, I've already got JX thing, so I'm gonna name it something different. So press the name button and call it. It's usually good to call it what the key is. So I'm gonna call it C2. Where's my C? C2. Whoops, I just deleted that. Sorry. C2 JX. And erase everything else. And press the enter key. That's created a new sample ready for you to record. So if I press F2, and make sure you got the monitor on. There's my VU meter, so you can see my levels are okay. So obviously set the record level. So obviously that's my C2. Now notice that if you go back to set, it's the original pitch. You can set that, but if you got a MIDI note coming in, it changes to whichever note you play. So that's really good. So that's sorted. Okay, we're running out of time here. So just press on, which is F8. So that's waiting for your MIDI signal, right? So just press it. Fantastic. See, that's recorded me. Okay, then what you want to do is record your C3. So you go to set, sorry, F1, and change the name. You have to change the name, otherwise it's just going to overwrite that sample. So you press name again, C3 JX, and press enter, press record on, and here's C3. Okay, so and so on. So after you got all your samples ready, you go back to single mode and press edit to make sure that the test program's in there, or whatever program you got you want to edit. So you go back to key group and you go to F6 sample, and notice you got KG up the top, which stands for key group, and you got 4 in this case because that's how many we made. And you got sample sine. All we want to do is just select C. Oh, sorry, I've missed out something. You want to loop the sound first. Sorry. So go back to sample. After you recorded your sounds, you'd while you're in sample there, you hit edit and pick the sound you want to start. In this case, I'm going to show you one I've already looped. So press F3 loop, and you see the time there. If you press 99999, it just goes to hold. Notice it's not clicking. Now if I show you another sound. Right, here we go. This is C3. It's not looped. Sorry, I still got the JX3P going up. Right, so what I want to do is turn the looping on. Now this is what it sounds like if the loop length is too short. Nasty. So what we want to do is make it longer. Don't know if you can see that. Right. I just pressed find. Sometimes it comes up quite good. So then, see, that's not perfect. So I mean, that's one thing you're gonna have to work on. So get that right. Go to find. See, that's not perfect. But anyway, so you get that. Sometimes if you've still got a little click, you might want to try the X fade as well. So where it says XF, crank up the old value and press F8 to X fade it. See how it sounds now. See, it's a bit better actually. So if I turn it up a bit more, press X fade. It's almost perfect, right? So we can go to multi now. Sorry, single. Edit the key group. Press F6 for sample. See where it says JX5. So key group 1, we want to just assign the sample. So it's JX2 because it's C2. In key group 2, which would be C3, you want